Saving Places is a documentary that follows the crew and volunteers of HistoriCorps. Now, it's a nonprofit organization dedicated to preserving and restoring over a dozen historically significant buildings on public lands. The film premieres next Wednesday at the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema in Sloan's Lake. We are lucky enough to have the film director of HistoriCorps, Townie Anderson, and volunteer Kendron Gates. Welcome.
Thank you.
So first off, Townie, tell me a little bit about HistoriCorps.
Well, HistoriCorps was founded actually as a program of Colorado Preservation, Inc., which is a statewide historic preservation organization. And we grew to the point where the board decided that we should be a nonprofit, independent nonprofit, because we were working well beyond the mission area, if you will, of Colorado Preservation, Inc. We're all over the country now. So,
wow.
And we've actually engaged 3,300 volunteers.
Nicely done.
Putting in over 150 hours.
Wow, that's fantastic. A lot of passion there. What kind of buildings do you save?
Well, they're mostly vernacular. They need to be what we call user-friendly or volunteer-friendly. They're on public lands, and we've also done some buildings that are a little higher style, architectural style, in the urban interface, if you will.
And Saving Places, the documentary?
Yep.
Tell me a little bit about that.
It's filmed by Joseph Daniel, who's actually out of Boulder, Story Arts Media, and he and I met kind of incidentally, and he got HistoriCorps viscerally in the first 2 minutes of our discussion. And he followed our crews around the country, 15 projects in 2016.
My goodness.
Yeah.
And I love, we're looking at a little bit of the film right now. It's so incredibly beautiful. So Kendron, you've been volunteering for about a year now. What made you decide to volunteer?
I actually caught it on a segment of Colorado and Company a few years ago. My mom gave me a ring after she saw it on the TV. And
really?
The rest was kind of history, yeah.
Hey, we're changing lives here, Townie. Did you know that?
Yep.
What types of projects have you worked on?
Quite a few. I've had a decent amount with Denver Mountain Parks and the kind of local Colorado area. I lived out in Lakewood myself, so that was awesome. And then I've worked out in Michigan on the Peninsula Point project, was the lighthouse in the Upper Peninsula.
Oh,
there.
that had to be
gorgeous.
gorgeous.
Phenomenal. Yeah, it was amazing.
Tell me more about the experiences. What has it been like for you? Life-changing?
Yeah, to put it in such few words, I've learned so much about myself. Working with other volunteers has been absolutely fantastic. The stories are so different, and it's interesting to get out to all these different pockets of forgotten people. Like, it's important to know where you came from and how you can kind of help that to create a better future for everybody.
Would you mind sharing a story of maybe one of the most important structures?
Ooh.
That'd be a tough
One
one,
of
huh?
the most important structures.
Maybe I guess to you personally.
Well, we do a lot of work with the U.S. Forest Service, and I think I would group them as it's the Civilian Conservation Corps era. Works Progress Administration, President Roosevelt, 1930s. We do a lot of structures there. It was a phenomenal period of time of employing the unemployed and what they created. Red Rocks is one of them.
Oh yeah, isn't that amazing? Beautiful.
And so we've done lookouts, and the beauty of working with the Forest Service is they repurpose the buildings for cabin rentals. And it goes on a national website, and they are very highly, their occupancy rate is quite high because they're all in extraordinarily beautiful places. So we do ranger stations and first generation log cabins.
Gosh, you've accomplished so much and experienced so much. And the premiere of the movie is this Wednesday. I understand it's sold out, but tell me how we can still see the film.
Yeah. Well, go on the website, and our SVP website is historicorps.org, and just click on the Saving Places, and there'll be a waiting list. It's free, so it's likely there will be some attrition. and we can, so you can show up and probably be able to get a seat.
Excellent.
And we will also, we're looking at exploring ways that we can show it again. Because we had no idea that it would sell
The
out so
demand.
quickly.
You're going to have to show it again. Get another place to screen it. And before we close, can you share maybe one of the places you worked on that was so important to you, and maybe the community, how it impacted them?
Honestly, the Little Park Well House out at the the Lair the Bear open space it was my first project with HistoriCorps, and since then, like, it's been so important to me because it honestly altered the later half of my adult life, and everybody came out for that. Like, we would have people who just walk their dogs and walk past us and be fascinated in what we were doing, and it's cool to see that every historic structure we've worked on will impact somebody in the neighborhood.
Is your mom watching now?
No, she's at work, but she recorded it.
What's her name?
Vicky.
Hi, Vicki. Thank you
Hey,
so
Mom.
much for watching and encouraging your daughter to volunteer and help change lives. Nicely done, you guys. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks for having us.
You can register today to attend the Denver premiere of Saving Places on May 15th at the Alamo Drafthouse Cinema in Sloan's Lake. Now, the event begins with a reception at 6 p.m., which includes a complimentary taco bar and drinks. The show starts at 7 p.m. and includes a Q&A with director Joseph Daniel following the screening, and the reception and film are absolutely free, but reservations are required. Please RSVP to historicorps.org to find out more.